Hello friends, welcome back to Python based data science series. In last sessions we discussed about how we can install Visual Studio Code, how we can install Python latest version and how we can configure it using VS Code, and we practice some of the codes over there. Hope you enjoyed those sessions. Now in today's session we are going to discuss about firstly the features of Python, why Python is so much popular language. The first point is Python is currently used by most widely used multi-purpose high-level programming language. The second is Python allows programming in object-oriented programming as well as procedural programming as well, procedural paradigm as well. As we know that there are two main programming paradigm. Paradigm means program designs acceptable or widely used. That is procedural oriented, where one process can be divided into the various sub-process, and object-oriented means where we can use a class, objects, encapsulations, then inheritance, polymorphism. These features are there, and Python is well supported for that. Python programs generally are smaller than the programming language like Java, and uh, Java programmers have to type relatively less, and indentations requirement of the language makes them readable all the time. Because basically, in case of Python programming, okay, you uh, the comparatively, if you're going to compare with the Java, then you need to write the lesser code. At the same time, I'll be discussing about the indentations. Indentations means like every block, okay, have the indents over there. Okay, it's like specifications over there. So it become more readable, that entire code, and it's easy to code even, and relatively programmers will find very easy to write the codes in Python. Python language is being used almost in all the tech giants company like Google, Amazon, Facebook, Instagram, Dropbox, Uber, etc. Okay, so to develop the applications which are to meet the, because unless and until you have an applications which are going to match to the recent industrial needs, okay, it won't be that popular over there. So Python proves that, okay, all the leading tech giants are using Python as a development tool, that is like Google, Amazon, Facebook, and all. The biggest strength of Python is a huge collection of standard library. Right? Obviously, uh, like your programming language gained the popularity when it got a huge, and all the kind of like challenges you can able to overcome, and all the libraries available with you. So it can be used for the machine learning. It can be used for GUI applications. It provides you machine learning. I'll be explaining you in later sessions. Your electronic devices or your artificial intelligence can be built. Machine can be trained for certain reasons. Okay, like example of robotics over there. Your robots can work according to your requirement, according to your need. They can understand your gestures. They can understand your language. They can as per your instructions, they can perform the task. They can, so that is what machine learning means. And even in case of GUI applications where you have a graphical user interface, so Python is supporting for Kiwi and Tkinter and PyQt, and these all things are actually available. So we'll be discussing in the coming sessions how we can work with the GUI applications. We have a web framework like a Django, and which will be used for YouTube and Instagram and Dropbox. Image processing like OpenCV, Pillow, web scraping tools like a Scrappy, and a Beautiful Soap, Selenium, test frameworks, multimedia, scientific computing, text processing, and many more. So, due to these all features, Python become a much more popular language nowadays over there. So, let's go for further coding over here. In the earlier sessions, we discussed about how we can make an input, how we can able to print, how we can uh, typecast the data and accept the data and perform it over there. So, learning programming language means able to solve as many programs as you can. So in this manner, in this series of Python based data science series, I'm going to go for more programming stuffs in today's sessions over there. So switch to the, now let's programs over here. Let us say, okay, now you have to read the three numbers and find the greatest and lowest among them. Okay, in last sessions also we discuss about, but like now here I'm going to discuss how we can use a elif block, else if block, that's called as, in case of Python we are called as elif. So here as you have to read three numbers and find the greatest and lowest among them. Here a equals to input. Input is a method which is useful for prompting the user and get the inputs, but that input is also in the string format, so you have to typecast it, you have to parse it into the integer. So int in the bracket input. So first of all, this internal block is going to execute. It will prompt the user to enter the first name, and then it will mask to the, it will be uh, parsed to the integer and assigned to the a. So a become integer variable there. So in this manner, a, b, c will get the integer values, and after that, if a more than b, and to combine two or more conditions, we have a and keyword we have to use over here. Even you can use an ampersand, but like right now I'll recommending you to go with the and. So if a more than b, if the value of a more than b and a more than c, this is the first conditions. But like if the value of a is not more than b and the value of e is not more than c, then the control will go to the else over there. To determine the greatest from the three, a has to be greater from b and c, or b has to be greater than a and c, and c has to be greater than a and b. So here I'm using elif. Okay, in a programming language like a C, C++, Java, we are using else if, but here it is short form of else if, that is elif. Elif b more than a and b more than c, then b. If a is not greater, b is not greater, then else c is greater over there. At the end of every block, there is no block concept over there. So at the end of every block, you have to use a semicolon over here. So this is the logic for determining the greatest ones. If a more than b, a more than c, a is greatest, L if b is greatest, or the c is greatest. The same kind of logic you have to apply for the determine the lowest over there. So if a less than b, a less than c, then a is lowest, b is lowest, or the c is lowest, right? So here this example will accept the input from the user, assign to parse it to the integer and assign to ABC, and after that we are going to compare the two numbers and determine the greatest and lowest among them over there, right? So in last sessions we discussed about, okay, if you want to switch the Visual Studio Code, what you have to do, you have to go to the CMD, right? Okay, go to the folder where you are keeping your all the programs, and then CD. I'm having a Python test. I create a folder called a Python test, and then I'm having a folder called as session 2, right? And then if you write code and dot, so entire your programs are going to load over there. Visual Studio Code will be loaded over here, right? Otherwise, if you don't want to go with the command base, then you can load the Visual Studio Code, and then you can open the folder which you want to open, and these all the programs you can write it and save it over there. So I as the things are I already discussed with you, so I'm just giving you the codes, okay, by which how we can use the here in this case how the elif block, LC block is used, that I explained over here. Go to the program second. Now here in this case, okay, I enter your name, enter your age, and enter your floating values. Means here we understand that, okay, how whatever the input you will do from the user will enter, by default is going to enter in the string type of data, and then by masking it, or by converting it into the integer, it will assign to the integer over there. So by default it's a string type of data, so there is no conversions required. In case of age, you have to convert it into integer, and in case of if any floating values are there, you can convert it to the float over there, and then in this manner you can print it. Okay, so now here in the in the PRG1, let's firstly discuss the PRG1. We haven't executed the PRG1. Let's go for the execution firstly. Run Python file in the terminal. Here it will ask you for the first number. Let's say you enter 5, second number 19, and third number is 7. So it should give the answer that 19 is greatest and 5 is lowest. Here it is, 19 is greatest and the 5 is lowest over there, right? Okay, so in this manner we can enter the three numbers, and we can determine the lowest and greatest. Now go for the program second. Here in this case, I'm entering the three types of data, the integers, string, integer, and float. Okay, while typecasting it to the float, you have to use a float over there, and then there is a method called as type. Okay, which will return us that what type of data that variable belongs. Like here it has to be str string type of data, here it has to be integer type of data, and here it has to be type. Because if you want to know, because here we are not declaring the type of a variable over there. Okay, so if you want to know what type of variable that is, that time you have to use a type method over there. Just run it. Here it will ask you enter name. Okay, let's say you are entering ABC, enter your age, maybe 25, and enter any floating value. Let's say 123.45 I am entering, right? So here it will print that the value of A is ABC, 25, 123.45, and A is data type of str, B is data type of integer, and C is a data type of float, right? So here this type method is actually used to return the type of any specific variable. The motive of today's sessions is to get used to with the Python library, getting to the next level of programming over there, where by installing software, configuring it. Later on, now we are going to the actual like what kind of features are actually available in the Python, so that it becomes easy for the programming. So here in this case, I'm having a list data type over. The list means, so if you want to make an array, what you have to do, a equals to like, okay, list, because there is a difference between the list and the array. Okay, array means the same type of data over there. You can a collection of same type of data, but here in this case you can list the multiple type of data as well. So let's like understand it by example. A equals to, okay, the list, okay, or the set. We have to make it a blank declarations over there, and then there is a method called as append. A dot append. Okay, first of all I add Axiom take group, then I add the numeric data, and then I add a floating data, and then I add the string type of data as well. So it proves that in case of arrays, what we discussed in the C++, we can make a collection of only single type of data. Only it's a set of integers, only it's a set of a float. But here in this case, we can declare a list and append. Append is a method by which we can add all this data. Okay, whether it's integer, string, numeric, float, or any type of data, you can able to add it to the list over there. And if you make a print a, all these records will be, all these elements which you are adding to the list will be printed over there. Let's go for the execution. Here it is, like Axiom take group, right? Here is the first entry, and 25, 12.35 Python for data science. Okay, so this means it proves that we can make a collection, make a list of all the different type of data together in one container, in one list, right? So because as we prior we discussed that, okay, in case of array it's a set of similar type of data, but here it's a dissimilar type of data. Okay, also we can able to add it into the list over there. So a is declared as a list, and then we can have a append. There are many more other methods also where we can remove the data from the specific locations. We can clear up everything, but that we are going to discuss in the next sessions. Here my agenda for today's sessions is to just discuss about how we can like use various features. Okay, and then slowly we go for the exploring the other methods, as well as other next level of programming as well. So in the first program we discuss about how we can use a elif block. Okay, in the second programs, how we can use a type method to know the type of the variable, and at the same time, so how we can mask to the float type of variable. In the third programs, I'm discussing about how we can make a list of all the data, where we can it's a dissimilar type of data. Dissimilar in the sense, I'm having a string type of data, I'm having the integer data, I'm a float data in one collection, in one list. Okay, then let's go for the next things. Now, as we know, okay, as we just discussed that your Python is going to support for the procedural programming as well as your object programming as well. So a function plays a very vital role in the procedural programming over there. So let us discuss how we can define the functions. In case of Python, def is a keyword. define functions. You define the function over here, define f1. Now f1, if there is a pair of parentheses, so it become function. Functions means a process written by a programmer to perform a specific instructions or to perform a specific task, right? So now define f1 is defined over here. Here it's a definition of the f1, and let us say for the sake of understanding, for the sake of demonstrations, in the function definitions I'm writing, I'm in f1's definitions. Then I define the another function. That indentation is important. Indentations means like, okay, the alignments. Okay, so here it is define f2. So I'm having the definition of f2, and here I'm writing print I'm function definitions f2. And you can whenever you are saying f1 and f2, so whenever you are referring to f1, so it gives a call to the f1 and it will execute I am in function f1, and whenever you refer to f2, it will print I am in the function definitions of f2. So here, to define any functions, we have to write def, okay, and the function definitions, and then you define entire process over there, and when at the time of calling, you have to just call it over there. So control will directly here it will definitions of f1 and f2 will be keeping the header, and whenever you call it, it refer to that particular process over there. Let's execute this code and you will get the results. I am in f1 and I am in f2. Okay, I'm in f1 definitions and I'm in f2 definitions over there. So here to how to define a function and how to give a call to, that is explained in this code. Okay, here now as we know that there is a main process in any program. Up till now, whatever the list of the programs we are trying and testing, there was no main. Okay, it was like executing from the from the line number 1 to line number n. But like if you want to define a main, right? So here what you need to do, okay, if name, here it's underscore two underscore name equals to main, means like here the compiler will understand that this is the from here the main thread need to be executed over that. So here name equals to main, so it's this block is named as a main, and then so whenever your block is named as a main, so the execution of the program starts from here, and then it will give a call to the main. So here main is referred, main m has to be the capital, and here you define the main, and then here you are printing executing main, and then you are referring f1. Now main is also a function like normal other functions, but the only difference that main having highest priority in the executions, or main will be executed firstly. So here in this code, if a main is defined, so the controller will start executing the code from here, and then it will refer to the call to the main, and here is the definition of a main. Here is the definition of a main, so it will print executing main, and from main we are referring f1. So the executions of the program like this, executing main, and then it will say I am in f1 definition. So just run it. Here it is executing main and I am in f1 definitions. So here this program help you out, okay, how we can define the main, right? Instead of starting executing from here, it will start executing from here. So if two underscore name two underscore equals to in the double quotes two underscore main, so this is the syntax for defining a main, and then you give a call to the main, and then the actual definitions of the main. So control will this block will be executed firstly, and then give a call to the main, and then the controller will jump to the main, and then from here you can give a call to the other functions as well, right? So here in this session, as I already explained you, I am going to introduce you with the various Python based programming techniques which we can use it for the programming, right? Okay, now in the program 6, okay, here it's again I am defining a main over here. If name equals to main, so execution starts from here, main. So it will go to the definition of a main, it will say print started, and then here I'm having another user defined function defined called as get integer. So the control will be transferred to the integer. So here it will in the get integer function, okay, it will ask for the user to enter integer, and that integer will be masked to the or like converted to the integer, and then return that integer. So in this manner you can define a function which will return the value also. So return integer, return a result. Result is an integer type of data, and that will be assigned to the output, and you print the output over there. Look at the nesting of the functions. Here the control will be firstly execute the main, then it will print started, and then it will jump to the get integer definitions. Get integer will accept the integer and return the integer, and then that will be assigned to the local variable, and then you can print the value. Let's run it. Here it's it. If you enter any integer value, so you can able to print it also. The motive of this particular code, how we can define the main process and give a call to the sub process involved in it, right? Okay, now in this particular example, I'm going to like just by using these all the tips and techniques what we use, just build a some larger code over here. Okay, how to generate the mark sheet of the students. To generate the mark sheet of the students, you have to enter the student name, which is the string type of data, then the roll number, and then we accept the all 5 subjects marks, right? And once you get the roll number and the name and the 5 subjects marks, then you can calculate the total, which is the accumulation of all the subjects, and then you evaluate the percentage, that will total divided by 5, right? If it is a fine out of 500 over there, so instead of total into 100 divided by 500 size, I'm just like writing the short expressions percent equal to total by 5. Okay, and then to evaluate the results, if my condition is if every individual subject score need to be more than equal to 40 and the percent has to be more than equal to 50. So if subject 1 is more than 40 and subject means to qualify the exams, every subject scores need to be more than 40. So if S1 more than 40, S2 more than 40, S3, S4 and S5, and at the same time the percentage is more than 50, then okay, result will be the pass. Okay, and else if the result is not pass, it means or any subjects having a less than 40 marks or the cumulative percentage less than 50, then the result will be fail. So now we able to evaluate the total, we able to evaluate the percentage, now we able to evaluate even the pass or fail the result. Now let us like have a like computing for the grade over there. For achieving the grade, if the percentage less than 50 and the result is fail, then there is no grade. Elif, here I am using the elif block. If the percent is more than 50 and less than 65 and the result is pass, okay, if there is a slab level over there. In the if ladder, this is called as if ladder. In case of if ladder, there is a slab level involved over there. If the percentage is in the range of 50 to 65 and the result is pass, then grade is C. Elif, if the percentage is in the range of 65 to 75, okay, and result is passed, then B, and then LC 75 to 84, actually less than 85 means 84, A grade, and then the A plus grade. And if any conditions doesn't match on the above criteria, then it will be the grade. It means if your percentage is more than 50 but result is fail, that time there is no grade over there. So in this manner we even evaluate the grade also, right? And then like that all the name, roll number, like comment and separated by the variables, we can print that all the calculated total percentage result and grade. Okay, so this is the better examples where we can accept data from the user. Typecast is as per the type of variable we required, and then we use the arithmetical operator to process like evaluate the total percentage result and the grade even, right? Let's go for the execution. Okay, enter name. Here you have to enter the name of the student, maybe the ABC, the roll number is 100 or 101. The subject score is like this: 56, 78, 90, 88. So here is a grade A, and if you just like if you want to run the code again, Python student.py, student name is PQR, and 102 is the, and then maybe 88, 77, 66, 98, but one subject have a less score or the fail even 32. So obviously here though he is total marks is 361, percent is 72.2, but the result is fail and the grade is also fail. You can test all the other conditions as well. All right. So in today's sessions is actually dedicated for understanding the features of Python. There we got many features available in the Python. That is, okay, it's like mostly used, okay, widely used high-level programming language. It is object-oriented, supports the object-oriented and procedure programming over there, and it got a GUI features. Okay, it can be used for uh, web scraping, image processing. Okay, it got a Django framework. Okay, with the help of which web can be done. Okay, GUI applications can be done with TK Interval, and like that all the tools which are useful for the data science and data processing and web processing and everything, text mining, okay, data mining, text mining, and all the things can be available in Python over there. And then we discuss about, okay, how we can write the basic programs, how we can go with the LE block, okay, how we can like extract out the type of the variable which is available. Then we have there is a list, okay, by we can instead of making array we can make a like a differential type of data we can able to accumulate together and form a list of them. Then we discuss about how we can define the function by the def keyword, def function definitions, and then you can give a call to, and then we'll discuss about how we can start from the main, how we can define the main and call to the main, and then we call to the main, and then therefore the nesting of the functions also done over there. Here also, okay, we give a call to main, and then instead of we have a get integer functions which will accept the data and the returning value. So here are the functions which is returning value. Now in the next sessions, we'll be discussing about the next level, okay, where we can how we can put the arguments to the functions, how we can return the data over there. I'm just like in these sessions I'm going to introduce you with all the programming features, like how we can read the data, how we can concat the two conditions by and LE block at the same time, how we can define the main functions, how we can define the various the functions like user defined functions, and then by using that how we can able to evaluate the students mark sheet, okay, by reading all the data, computing everything, and writing the various conditions over there, right? So these are all the codes I'm going to share with you as a comment to my video sessions over there. So you need to go through that all the stuff. So up till now you might be installing your and configuring your VS Code with a Python, and you already have extensions installed over there for the Python, and then you might be started working on the Python programming. So these programs will help you out how we can define the main functions, how we can define the sub functions, how we can able to evaluate the small programs by which we can able to even able to calculate the mark sheet of the students, right? So hope you got everything clear about these sessions. See you soon. Thank you.